Codominance. Written by CurlyStar09. Read for you by Gemini Wishes. Chapter 4. Baby Protection Squad. Bakugo grumbled as he tried to place a sock on the kid's feet once more, only for the little gremlin to pull his feet away yet again. "Will you stop?" Bakugo huffed. No real anger in his voice, just frustration. He had been trying to get the kid ready for a couple of minutes now, but the kid found it hilarious to move his feet before Bakugo could even get the sock close to his little foot. The couple of times he had somehow managed to get a sock on one of those feet, the kid would pull it off before he had time to even attempt the other foot. The kid would go into a fit of giggles at Bakugo's frustration, making it impossible for him to even be mad. They just didn't have time for this.
"Okay, you little gremlin, stop. We have people coming over, and you are not meeting them barefoot,"
Bakugo told him as the kid just smiled up at him from his place on the bed.
"Stop being cute. Just stop."
"What is going on?" Kirishima said as he got to the door, trying not to laugh. Bakugo glared and threw the baby's sock at him.
"You fucking do it. He finds it funny when I struggle,"
Bakugo huffed as he pointed at the kid who started babbling as soon as he spotted Kirishima at the door, hands outreached towards the redhead.
"At least the button-down fits him,"
Kirishima tried. The kid did look rather cute and handsome in his little semi-formal getup that Bakugo had picked out, a nice onesie that looked like a button-down red flannel and black pants.
"It would look even better if he let me put his shoes on,"
Bakugo grumbled as he leaned against the wall of the room as Kirishima moved towards the kid while trying to hold back a laugh.
"What did you do to your dad, Pebble?"
he started as the kid reached out to him.
"I'm actually impressed, but maybe you shouldn't make him grumpy before we get visitors. I would like to see you fucking try, shitty hair. This is bullshit,"
Bakugo grumbled, earning himself a look from Kirishima.
"Language, I know, sorry or whatever,"
Bakugo grumbled. Kirishima let out a sigh before turning back to the kid.
"All right, let's try this out,"
he said as he got a sock ready in his hand. The baby lifted his hands up as he babbled, as if trying to tell Kirishima exactly what happened as he slapped at the bed with his hands.
"Really?
Did he really?" Kirishima said, as if holding an actual conversation. It took Kirishima one fucking try to put the socks and shoes on as the baby was distracted with his own storytelling.
"You gotta be kidding me,"
Bakugo groaned as Kirishima picked up the baby with a shit-eating grin.
"I think you may have tired him out,"
Kirishima offered before handing the kid over to Bakugo, who went without hesitation.
"You're so rude,"
Bakugo said to the kid with a bit of a huff as a small hand went to his cheek immediately.
"He gets that from you," Kirishima chuckled. "Now come on, everyone should start arriving soon."
Bakugo let out a sigh, his eyes going to the little one that was entertaining himself by playing with the collar of his shirt.
"You're in for a treat now, kid. Good luck."
Kirishima moved the baby's playpen to the living room. The room was wide enough to have it near the couch after moving everything a bit more against the wall. It would have to do for now, he thought, as Bakugo stepped forward to place the kid inside with a couple of toys.
"All right, you stay there while we finish getting everything ready,"
Kirishima told him as he patted the kid's head.
"Need to prepare for the idiots,"
Bakugo explained, earning himself a playful shove from Kirishima. Before either of them could say anything, the doorbell rang. Bakugo couldn't help but feel as if it had just saved him from a lecture as he hurried towards the door. He opened the door to find Sero standing there with a grin and a big Doberman at his side who seemed to be more than excited to come inside.
"Hey, plain face,"
Bakugo said as he moved out of the way and let them inside. "Hey, bro," Sero said as he leaned down to take the dog's leash off, and he rushed inside to find his owner at full speed.
"Okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea."
Bakugo let out a sigh.
"It's fine. It was going to happen sooner or later."
"Puppy Riot, I missed you," they heard Kirishima exclaim.
"So, how are you handling the whole situation with the whole—"
Sero trailed off as he placed his hands in his pockets.
"Shut it, we can talk later, not now,"
Bakugo warned.
"Where's your girlfriend, or did she finally come to her senses?"
"Mina got stuck doing paperwork," Sero said as he stepped further into the house with an eye roll.
"She'll come over as soon as she's able to."
Bakugo just hummed. At least that meant they could introduce the kid to one person at a time for the most part. He was about to speak when Sero stopped short when they got within view of the living room. Kirishima was sitting on the couch with the baby in his arms as Riot rested his head on Kirishima's knee, sniffing carefully. The baby was just staring wide-eyed at the dog, his little hands holding onto Kirishima tightly.
Holy shit, that's an actual fucking baby, Sero gasped. Language, Kirishima told him as a greeting. Oh, is that why Bakugo hasn't cussed me out yet? He joked before moving closer quickly in order to dodge the punch that was sure to come. This is insane, Sero said as he got closer, the baby now focusing on him instead. Hey, little dude, nice to meet you, he said with a small wave. This is Sero, little pebble, Kirishima said with a soft smile as he stood up with the baby in his arms. Do you guys have a name for him yet? Sero asked as he reached out to touch the baby's arm as a greeting. Not yet, Bakugo said with a huff, crossing his arms. It's harder than we thought, Kirishima explained with a nervous laugh. Trouble finding a name with the word murder in it, are you? Sero joked with a short laugh. You're lucky there's a kid in the room right now, soy sauce, Bakugo warned. Besides, give him some credit. Bakugo didn't name his cat anything with the word murder in it, Kirishima said with a shrug. You are giving him too much credit, Sero said with a knowing look in his eyes directed at Bakugo. Spanish for... what was it again? For Albert, Kirishima said with a grin. I thought you helped him pick it out, though. Nope, he did that one all by himself, Sero told him with a grin, getting a glare from Bakugo. Can I carry him? Sero asked, in order to change the subject before he got thrown out. Sure, if you want to, Kirishima said, and Sero reached over to take the baby from Kirishima. The baby stared at Sero for a good 2 seconds before he started crying, screaming bloody murder, twisting and turning, trying to get away, feet kicking as he tried to get away. His hands reached out for Bakugo, who was close by as if asking for help. I'm here, kid. It's all right, Bakugo said as he took the baby, who didn't waste time, burying his head into Bakugo's chest as he sobbed, hands holding on tightly to his shirt. Bakugo rubbed the baby's back, trying to soothe him. He's not used to people yet, Bakugo said instead. It's cool, I understand. I got the details of what... I don't blame him for being apprehensive, Sero said as he rubbed the back of his neck. Kirishima nodded, sitting on the sofa with a nervous expression on his face. Maybe we did this too soon. Hey, he needs to be around people, Bakugo told him with a sigh as he continued to try and calm the baby down. There is no other way for him to get used to others. And I'm fine waiting for him to warm up to me, Sero told them. Don't worry, little guy. One day we'll be able to go out and get ice cream together and do all the fun stuff these two won't let you do. You are never babysitting, Bakugo responded with no hesitation, and Kirishima smiled.
Kaminari and Shinso arrived shortly after with Alboroto, looking annoyed at the fact that he was in a cat carrier. The black cat's blue eyes were wide as he waited for someone to let him out.
Hey guys. Hi, Al, Bakugo said as he went over to take his cat from his friends. Thanks for watching him, Shinso. Hope he wasn't too much of a little shit. Lesser so than the owner, Shinso responded with a smug grin. Very funny, Bakugo said as he went to open the carrier, just for Al to rush off somewhere without a glance back. Nice to see you too, Bakugo mumbled. All right, I'm here to meet my godson, so if you'll excuse me, Denki told them as he made his way to the living room. Where's the little menace? He called out as Shinso and Bakugo followed. He knows he's not actually the godfather, right? Bakugo questioned Shinso in an almost whisper. Let him down easy when you tell him. I'm going to have to hear all his complaints about it, Shinso told him. You're the one who decided to date him, Bakugo mumbled. Shinso shrugged. He grew on me. He's adorable, Kaminari exclaimed as soon as he saw the baby. The kid was staring at Kaminari wide-eyed, holding onto Kirishima tightly as if afraid of a repeat of what had happened before with Sero. Just give him space, Denki, Sero warned. He's just getting used to having people around, Kirishima added. Wow, he really does look like you two, Shinso said as he went to stand next to his boyfriend in case he needed to pull him away from the kid. Bakugo grinned, his eyes meeting Kirishima, who was smiling at those words, a warm feeling in his chest as they looked at each other for maybe a second too long. A second that made Bakugo's breath hitch once Kirishima finally looked away. He was making his way past Kaminari, hoping to be able to sit next to Kirishima. Kirishima was sitting on the sofa, wide-eyed baby against his chest as he tried to understand who these people were. Eyes darted from Sero sitting a couple of feet away to the two new arrivals that were standing a couple of feet away, and then to Bakugo, as if making sure he was still there. Nah, Kaminari said suddenly. This kid is too cute to have Bakugo's DNA.
Not even a second later, Bakugo's hand was on Kaminari's face, letting off a smaller explosion than he would usually make, simply because he didn't want the sound to scare his kid.
Watch it, dunce face.
Before anyone could respond, the room was filled with laughter. The baby was laughing as if he had just witnessed the funniest thing in the world, making all eyes go to him as he giggled brightly and was full of glee. His hold on Kirishima loosened and started to look a bit more like the cheerful baby Bakugo knew he was.
Never mind, Kaminari said as he rubbed his face. That's definitely Bakugo's kid.
Jiro arrived with a gift in hand, just passing it over to Bakugo as she made her way right to the living room without a word.
Nice to see you too,
Bakugo mumbled.
Not here for you today, Jiro replied.
Oh, he's so cute, she gasped, going to sit next to Kirishima so that she could be close to the kid. Hi, little guy, Jiro gushed.
We're all being ignored then. Got it, Sero chuckled.
That's for sure. I have a new favorite boy, and all of you can't compare to him.
Just look at him. He already has you all beat in the looks department, Jiro told them as she waved at the baby and started to make faces at him. And I thought I was your favorite boy, Kaminari pouted.
Shinso, actually, Jiro corrected. Sorry you lost your place, Mind Jack, Jiro added.
I feel betrayed, Kaminari huffed. You're the one that kept trying to get with her even after she told you she was gay, Shinso shrugged. Anyways, thanks for coming, Jiro. Mama couldn't make it?
She's on a mission, but she said she'll try to visit soon and to send her lots of pictures, Jiro said with a smile, already taking out her phone.
What are these earlobes?
Bakugo said as he looked in the gift bag.
The gift of music.
Some CDs of music that are supposed to be helpful for soothing and development, Jiro told him. You know, some Mozart and other classical music. But then there's also some children's songs and other things in there that I thought you guys may need.
Kirishima smiled brightly. Thank you so much, Jiro. I'm sure there's going to be something in there I like. Is this punk versions of kids' songs? Bakugo asked, holding up a CD with a raised eyebrow. You guys should enjoy it too, right? Jiro said with a smirk.
They were all sitting around the living room talking, the topic jumping from work to their everyday lives. The more they talked and laughed together, the more it seemed the kid got comfortable being around so many people. He started reaching out for the toys the others offered, and even though he was still holding on to Kirishima or Bakugo, he was interacting a bit more. Kirishima smiled fondly at the small progression the kid was having, even if he had to stop Bakugo from exploding Kaminari's face just to see if it would make the baby laugh again. Bakugo was sitting next to Kirishima now, a hand outstretched in front of the baby who was holding onto it and slapping at it as he babbled to himself as if having a whole conversation. The redhead couldn't help but feel as if they were a family. A small family, surrounded by their friends as they introduced their son to them. It's not like that, though, a voice in the back of Kirishima's head reminded him. They were only doing this because the little pebble needed them, which wasn't necessarily bad, but he knew it was only going to get harder to resist the urge to reach out to Bakugo in a way that wasn't platonic. A way that would cross the line to destroy this little family of theirs they were forming. This little bubble that their kid needed more than anything right now.
Mina's here,
Sero exclaimed as he read a message on his phone, heading to open the door for his girlfriend with a smile on his face. It didn't take long until they heard Ashido's voice. Where is he? Where's the little bundle of joy that I need to spoil rotten? She walked into the living room with her arms full of shopping bags, letting out an excited gasp as soon as her eyes fell on the kid.
Mina, what did you do?
Kirishima asked, eyes wide. Kiri, babe, I'm making sure that little angel has everything he will ever want, she said as she let the bags drop. Oh, and I have a little something for everyone, but first, let me see that baby, she said as she went directly for the kid.
Oi, Pinky, he's not good with strangers, Bakugo warned.
Ashida reached out for the baby, not making a grab for him, just holding out her hands towards him. The kid eyed her cautiously, his red eyes looking at her so carefully, Kirishima could see just how much he was like Bakugo at that very moment, calculating if it was worth the risk. After a couple of seconds, he leaned toward Ashido, letting her pick him up, and she let out a delighted short laugh.
That's so not fair, Sero grumbled. I carried him for a second and he started crying.
Too bad, babe. Guess he likes me better, Ashido said as she smiled at the baby who was trying to reach for her horns. Isn't that right, my angel? She cooed.
It's because she got here when he was already used to all of us, Shinso tried to explain. Bribery. I think the kid knows what bribery is,
Dinky suggested.
Your guess is as good as any, Jiro said with a sigh.
I'm next, though, she said, pointing at everyone as if waiting for them to challenge her.
Before that,
Ashido said as she turned toward Sero.
Babe, can you open that bag right there?
She said as she pointed as best she could with the baby in her arms.
Yes, mi cielo,
Sero said as he did as he was told. As soon as he looked inside, he started laughing.
No way, I thought you were joking about this, Sero grinned.
You know I don't joke about this type of stuff, Ashido told him with a wink. There's one for everyone, she told him, making everyone else look at her with even more curiosity. Sero didn't hesitate. He pulled out a t-shirt from the bag and held it up for everyone to see.
These are amazing.
The shirt was black with white letters across the chest that read, Baby Protection Squad. There was an image underneath, a mix of Bakugo's and Kirishima's hero symbols in their signature colors, respectively.
Raccoon eyes. We are literally trying to keep this quiet,
Bakugo grumbled, but before he could finish, most of the group was rushing over for their own shirt.
Don't worry, Baku babe. I made them myself. No one knows about these but us, Mina explained.
These are awesome,
Jiro explained.
Dark sunglasses and we will totally look like bodyguards,
Dinky said as he held out his own shirt to inspect it.
You guys aren't wearing those yet, Kirishima warned. If the Hero Commission thinks we're going public, they may try to take him away and deny the whole thing.
They wouldn't dare, Sero exclaimed, but his face didn't look so sure. They all knew very well what the Hero Commission was capable of. Ashido's grip around the baby tightened slightly.
We are trying to find a way to let it leak or something without them knowing it was us, Bakugo explained. Once that happens, they will have no option but to let us come up with our own cover story.
It's not exactly a perfect plan yet, Kirishima admitted. Just need to make sure we have something.
Let us know if you need any help, okay?
Ashido said with no hesitation.
That goes for all of us,
Shinso chimed in. Kirishima smiled.
Those shirts are going to come in handy for sure.
Anyway, time to open gifts from Auntie Mina,
Ashido exclaimed as she took the baby towards the shopping bags that she had left on the floor. Bakugo let out a sigh, letting his head fall against the back of the sofa as Kirishima watched him carefully.
You all right, cats?
Kirishima asked, a hand finding its way on top of Bakugo's absent-mindedly.
Just a lot, but I'll be fine,
Bakugo assured him as their eyes met. Everyone else was distracted, going through the bags and showing the baby what was inside in turns as they all joked around and talked. Ashido made sure the kid didn't feel too overwhelmed by staying a good distance away, but close enough for him to see everything going on. He babbled at all of them as he watched with clear curiosity.
Are you okay with all of this? This whole situation?
Bakugo asked suddenly, catching Kirishima by surprise. Kirishima wasn't sure where that question had come from, but he knew there was something heavy underneath that they would have to discuss later. His hand squeezed Bakugo's underneath it, before saying confidently,
More than okay.
Bakugo stared at him, eyes searching, his mouth opening slightly, just to close just as quickly before giving Kirishima a nod.
I'm going to make sure Pinky doesn't try to steal our kid,
he said as he pulled his hand away, but not before giving Kirishima's hand a strong squeeze. Kirishima felt his heart beating loudly against his ears. He took a small, shaky breath. He stood up to follow, hoping his smile didn't look fake as he tried to push down a blush. He needed to do a better job at hiding his feelings if this was going to work, after all. Chapter 5. Outing. The kid was getting comfortable with everyone. He'd been carried at least once by everyone, but he always seemed to keep his eyes on Kirishima or Bakugo, as if watching their reaction before deciding if he should cry or not. It made Kirishima smile. It was like he needed to know where they were in order to feel safe. He had been around them for a couple of days, and he already trusted them so much.
You look good with a baby, babe,
Mina teased Sero as they all sat around the dining room. They had ordered some fried chicken for dinner and enjoyed their food while they talked.
You think so?
Sero said with a small chuckle.
Yeah, just wondering how you would look with one that looks like you if you want to try, Mina answered with a wicked grin.
Give me my kid back, Bakugo interrupted, reaching over the table to grab the baby. Don't talk about disgusting stuff in front of him, he told them, correcting himself before cursing when Kirishima raised an eyebrow at him. Poor kid has been through enough already, he grumbled.
Aw, Bakugo wants him and Kiri to be the only ones with a kid,
Jiro snickers. Bakugo just glared at her before turning to reach for the baby's bottle that was next to Kirishima on the table.
Are you guys really thinking about having a kid or just being gross? Kaminari asked with a disgusted look on his face. I'm not sure, at least maybe not right away, Sero said nervously as he scratched the back of his neck.
I need a ring before then,
Mina added with a small grin, making Sero's face heat up. So, any ideas on how to keep your parents from finding out? Shinso asked Bakugo and Kirishima with a bored expression. I'm not sure yet, Kirishima said with a sigh. My mom's come to visit once a month or so, and I haven't even told them I moved yet. Not only that, but the hag is going to barge in here any day now. I haven't gone by since I got back from my last mission. Bakugo shrugged as he fed the baby his bottle, one of the kid's hands on top of his as if holding him in place. It's a matter of time then, Jiro concluded. Just hope we don't get killed over this, Kirishima told them, his eyes on the baby, who seemed to be falling asleep. Fuck, we are never going to hear the fucking end of this one, Bakugo grumbled. Language, Kirishima warned. He's falling asleep, Bakugo countered with a frown. Okay, fine, but I swear, Katsuki, if his first word is a bad word, I will end you, Kirishima threatened. Bakugo just tisked but said nothing. Hey, wait, Kaminari said as he looked around the room at everyone. You guys didn't invite Kendo and Tetsu?
You just realized this? Mina asked.
Well, no, but I thought they were running late, Kaminari explained. Yeah, they don't know, Kirishima admitted. Wait, what? Jiro exclaimed. We weren't able to get the Hero Commission to let us tell everyone we knew, even if they were heroes, Bakugo told them. That's why we need a plan. If not, this little one is going to be stuck inside his whole fucking life. Why don't you just say fuck it and tell everyone about him? Sero asked. We thought about it, Bakugo tells them. Just that we aren't sure how much we could get away with. Then there's the media circus it would turn into.
Yeah, they will have a field day when this all comes out, Mina agreed.
We just want to make sure they don't try to take him away, Kirishima explained. The room fell into silence for a couple of seconds. The weight of the whole situation settled over the group. Okay, but are you both going to be dad? Because that is going to get confusing real fast, Shinso asked, trying to change the topic. Oh my god, please tell me one of you will go by daddy, Sero snickered. No, that's just so weird, Jiro exclaimed. The conversation shifted almost naturally after that as they tried to figure out what Bakugo and Kirishima should be referred to as. A welcome distraction from the looming problems on the horizon. Kirishima headed to his room about half an hour later, the little pebble asleep in his arms. They had moved the cot to his room for the night, and they wanted to make sure he wouldn't wake up with the chaos that only grew when the squad was around. Ashita was right behind him, having made up an excuse about wanting to see the nursery they were building. Okay, Kiri, spill, she told him once he had set the baby down. What is going on? What do you mean what's going on? Kirishima asked with a raised eyebrow. Don't play dumb with me, Kirishima Eijiro. You are living with Bakugo, you have a kid together. Has something happened? Ashito asked, the glint in her eyes making it obvious what she wanted that something to be. No, Mina, nothing has happened, I swear, Kirishima explained with a sigh. We're only doing this because the kid needs us. Bullshit, Ashita told him. Plenty of people raise kids together without having to be under the same roof. She pointed up as if to prove her point. Most people don't have to keep their kid a secret, Kirishima told her as he sat on his bed. I'll give you that one, but this is your chance, Ashita told him, sitting next to him, a hand on his arm. Last time we talked about this, you said it was a no-go because Bakugo was so busy with hero work. Well, now he's not. Not only that, but you two will be spending a lot of time together. But I can't do that to him, Kirishima told her, gesturing at the sleeping baby. If Bakugo rejects me, I don't know if we would be able to be there for him the way we are now. I don't know if I could take it, Mina. His eyes filled with tears. Not after what happened that time. Oh, Kiri, Ashito sighed, leaning her head against his shoulder. I just don't want you to end up hurt in this scenario. I won't. I know where we stand, Kirishima assured her. He could keep pretending. He had done it for years. Bakugo and Kirishima ushered their friends out a couple of hours later, hearing a lot of promises to drop by again soon, and offers to babysit in case they needed a break. Once everyone left, the house was filled with comfortable silence. Kirishima sat on the sofa, his head leaning back, relieved that everything had gone smoothly for the most part. He felt the sofa shift as Bakugo sat next to him with a sigh.
Well, that's one more thing off the list, Bakugo told him. They love him already,
Kirishima said with a small smile.
Of fucking course they do. Our kid is fucking amazing,
Bakugo said with a grin, letting his head fall onto Kirishima's shoulder. Kirishima tensed for a second before relaxing at the touch. This was normal for them, after all. They were always spending time together like this before any of this happened.
Hey, I have a question, Kirishima started. If it's about a name for the kid, I am going to fucking lose it, Bakugo groaned. At this point, we should name him Murder or something. Everyone is just waiting for me to do it anyway, he grumbled, pouting slightly.
Kirishima let out a small laugh.
Not about that. Also, no kid of mine is going to be named Murder anything. Okay, so what's up then, Red?
Bakugo asked, pulling away to look at his best friend.
What did you mean earlier when you asked if I was okay with the situation?
Kirishima asked cautiously. He saw a flash of something in Bakugo's eyes. His body tensed slightly.
I meant, fuck, are you not?
He asked as he ran a hand through his hair. His eyes had a bit of panic in them.
I just don't understand what you think I'm not okay with, Kirishima explained. We've pretty much talked over the whole thing, so
Bakugo shrugged.
I don't want you to be here just because you have to,
he said, his eyes focused on the space between them.
I know we both have to be here for the kid, but fuck, hey, did I force you into moving in with me? What even is the long-term plan here?
Bakugo asked, his eyes meeting Kirishima's. Kirishima didn't know how to answer. He didn't know what to say that wouldn't give him away right then and there. How could he say that the only reason he even considered not moving in with Bakugo was fear? Fear that he would start thinking there was something else between them, something deeper, something he had known for years was one-sided, and he could only dream of. That somehow, the universe had given him the best gift ever in that little boy sleeping in the other room, but also the cruelest joke, showing him a peek of what he could have had, what life could have been, what he could have had, if only his best friend could see him as something more. Bakugo shifted nervously at his silence, making Kirishima realize he had to say something, anything.
You didn't force me. We agreed it was the best plan we could come up with, Kirishima told him. We don't need a long-term plan right now. What we do, but mostly about what to do when the press finds out.
Bakugo looked at Kirishima for a couple of seconds. Kirishima looked right back, knowing his best friend was looking for a trace of uncertainty from him. Bakugo finally nodded, letting himself fall back onto the sofa once more.
Honestly, if we get photographed with the kids sooner rather than later, it would be impossible for the Hero Commission to do anything about it. It would spread like fucking wildfire.
Kirishima thought about it. The blonde was right. If there was something the Hero Commission hated, it was looking like the bad guys.
We should do that,
Kirishima found himself saying, earning himself a confused glare from Bakugo.
No, listen, cats. We were told we couldn't tell anyone, not that we couldn't take him out. You've told me yourself that there are paparazzi around you like clockwork each week. So why don't we just get caught?
Bakugo considered Kirishima's words as if considering the risks and the possible advantages.
Hey, it might work, but...
Bakugo hesitated.
Everyone will assume that we're together. Are you okay with that?
Kirishima inhaled a sharp breath, knowing very well that they wouldn't be able to clarify anything to anyone. They would just have to let the rumor mill and gossip columns do their job. He remembered his conversation with Ashido earlier that night and felt like he was breaking a promise. Kirishima nodded, knowing it was their best option.
Let's do it.
Bakugo set up the stroller early the next morning with a bit of a shaky hand. He wasn't nervous that the Hero Commission would probably try to come after them. He was sure they wouldn't dare if the information was spread everywhere before they could actually do anything about it. They had planned on doing something more low-key originally, but the more drastic the move they made, the less of a chance that it would be swept under the rug. Bakugo wasn't nervous. He would take on the whole Hero Commission if he had to in order to keep their baby with them. He was nervous about what Kirishima and he had discussed the night before, what they needed to do in order to make sure they were selling this whole happy new family image and that no one would question it.
We're ready,
Kirishima announced, walking towards him smiling with the baby in his arms. The kid was babbling happily as Kirishima handed him over to Bakugo.
Are you sure we shouldn't take Ride along? Hey, your dog has a reputation of attacking paparazzi. I think we can save it for next time,
Bakugo reminded him as he strapped the baby into the stroller, making sure to hand him his teething ring.
We may actually need him next time for that very reason.
That was one time, and they were swarming us. Riot was very manly that day, Kirishima defended, earning himself a chuckle from Bakugo.
All right, Gremlin. Let's show the world that you're here to tear it apart.
Bakugo grinned.
Ready?
He said to Kirishima. The redhead nodded, stepping forward to open the front door. Let's head to the park, Kirishima said with a bit of a nervous smile. They maneuvered the stroller out of the house, locking the door behind them before walking down the street with the stroller. They could hear the baby babbling as they went along on their walk. It wasn't as hot as they had expected for mid-August, enough to make it believable that they were just a family going on a stroll. Early enough during the day that it seemed like they were avoiding the crowds. Bakugo let out a shaky breath, keeping one hand on the stroller as his other hand found Kirishima's. His heart was beating in his ears as they came into view of the park. He could already spot a couple of the people there looking their way. He ignored them, walking as if they had somewhere to be.
Do you see any of the vultures yet?
Bakugo asked quietly.
I think I saw something earlier, but I'm not sure,
Kirishima replied.
Are you sure they'll be here today? Yeah, I usually go to the gym at this time on Wednesdays when I'm not on a mission,
Bakugo explained.
They always try to take a photo of me then. That's why I have 5 of the same workout outfit. Pictures become worthless if they all look the same.
That's actually a good idea, Kirishima hummed.
Of course it fucking is,
Bakugo told him. Kirishima chuckled, turning to look at Bakugo, but something caught his attention in the corner of his eye. To their left, he was sure he had seen the glint of a camera lens.
Don't look, but I think we've been spotted,
Kirishima told Bakugo.
Told you they would be here,
Bakugo replied, keeping his eyes on Kirishima.
Are you sure about this?
Kirishima asked, hesitation clear in his voice. No, Bakugo wanted to say. I'm not sure I can do this. But he knew it was their only option. He let go of Kirishima's hand, only to take a fistful of his best friend's shirt, pulling him down until their lips met. Kirishima's lips were rougher than he had imagined, but warm and in a way, comforting. Kirishima leaned into the kiss a bit more, a hand finding its way to Bakugo's hip, the other to his cheek, pulling him in just a bit closer while keeping him in place. Bakugo couldn't help the small noise of approval that escaped his lips, just to get an approving hum from the redhead. He wasn't sure how long they kissed. It couldn't have been more than a couple of seconds before Kirishima pulled away, giving him another quick peck before pulling away completely. Both of them looked a bit dazed as they stared at each other, and Bakugo wondered if Kirishima's world had just shifted, just like his own.